Good afternoon and welcome to Nutmeg Sports on the ATN Network. Monday, November 27th, Frank Granito in studio alongside Kevin Coleman out of the holiday break and excited and ready for the start of the state football championship. Rivalry week has come to an end. The regular season has come to an end, and when the dust has settled, Kev, we will see 4 FCX schools competing for a state title, including the New Canaan Rams coming off a 27-0 victory over the Darien Blue Wave, a win that ends the Darien 34-game win streak, and it extends New Canaan's 12-year state tournament appearance.
What a tremendous performance by the Rams on Thanksgiving morning. I don't think a lot of people expected them to not only beat Darien, but beat them the way they did. 27-0. Darien had nothing offensively. They were just I thought New Canaan defense stole the show. They, as a whole, were the MVP. I thought they did a great job shutting down Mitchell Pryor because him as a lone running back has the ability to take over a game, I think, at times. And the fact that they were able to shut him down, disrupt both quarterbacks who both got in, made appearances. The pick 6 by Jake Ciancia really set the tone early on. I think the first play of the game, you get an interception like that, a pick 6, all of a sudden, being on that Darien sideline, everything went from so excited to feeling confident to saying, okay, here we go. This New Canaan is not messing around. They're here to play. And then once they went up 10-0, they went up 17-0. That's when you really started to see Darien start to look deflated.
It's going to be a turkey bowl talked about possibly in the wrong light for a long time to come. Darien's 2 of Darien's top players, including starting quarterback Jack Joyce and receiver free safety Brian Minikis, they were suspended, Kevin, not playing after being arrested on Wednesday night for an incident stemming back to November 6th. Then Nick Green also not in the game, so they had 3 of their top players out in this game. And you're right, I thought the New Canaan defense did a tremendous job in this one from start to finish, never allowed Peter Graham and the offense to get in sync, get anything going. But I was shocked that New Canaan's offense really didn't do that much more. 2 of their scores came on defense. 6 of the points came from field goals by Grant Morse. You had the 1 touchdown drive that included a 3rd and 34 conversion, and then it was extended by a roughing the punter penalty. So the offense didn't need to do much, and they played to the defense as a strength. But, I mean, there's a lot of wiggle room in this game to say, well, what if those players had played? Because New Canaan's offense, very content with just controlling the clock in this one.
And I think we all expected them to do that because Owen Shin, they did a terrific job of going that I formation and just letting him run the ball and letting the clock tick down a little bit. That gave Drew Pine, too, the ability to kind of relax a little bit in the pocket. You look back at those 2 3rd and longs, those 2 completions he made, were very impressive, I thought. I know, he still escaped the pocket a little too much at times, and, you worry about him protecting the football. But I thought Drew Pine, when he stepped into the pocket and threw the football, I thought he looked terrific. I thought he looked very confident, very good as a sophomore again. And you look back at that drive with a roughing the kicker, that really, really hurt Darien because then you got 1 play later, Owen Shin scores a 23-yard rushing touchdown. That killed Darien. At that point, being on that sideline, you just saw the look of defeat. I mean, everyone just, they didn't know what to do. It was, you had, especially in the second half, in the late 3rd and early 4th quarter, the defense was coming off. They were gassed, Frank. They were gassed, trying to get air, trying to, get a little extra time before New Canaan ran their offense. They were on the field for way too much of that second half, and you could just tell by the end they were way too tired. They were coming off the field, and they were even telling their coordinators, like, we need a break. We need the offense to try and get some, drives going because this defense was gassed by the end of it.
Yeah, and that 3rd and 34 conversion you had, that's right out of the half. 10-0 game. New Canaan comes out, 11-yard run on first down. Bam, first down here, and you think, okay, they're about to get going now. Going to ride Shin here and let him take over this game. Of the next 5 plays, you had 4 penalties.
Yeah.
Which brought it all the way back to 3rd and 34. You're now thinking, wow, Darien's going to get off the field, flip field position, and be down by 10. This is going in their way. This is going to be going their way. All of a sudden, then, it's a quick hitter. You get Arnone backside one-on-one on a post, connect with him, first down. Force the 3 and out again. Okay, you gave up the, they flipped the field now. They're punting. Rough the punter. all of a sudden, Shin's running into the corner of the end zone. This was a 6-minute drive that made it a 3-score game, and you're right. I thought that's when momentum really flipped. But for me, and this is one of those first points you mentioned, Kevin, you talked about Darien unable to get the running game going. I thought they never really tried to get it going. There wasn't enough of an effort to feed Mitchell Pryor and let him take some of the pressure off these rookie quarterbacks who were just thrust into arguably the biggest game on Thanksgiving.
And that's so hard for these young quarterbacks to get thrown into the biggest game of their lives, of their team, biggest game of the year, biggest game in the state perhaps, and they get thrown into that at Boyle Stadium with a packed house. It's not easy to do, and you throw a pick six to start the game on first pass, first play of the game. Not easy to do, and you're right. But I think the reason why they didn't run it too is because we talked about during the pregame. We had a feeling that New Canaan, since Peter Graham was going to start a quarterback, a young quarterback, you're going to go after him. And the fact that they blitzed a lot, they brought both middle and outside linebackers. There was going to be no chance for Mitchell Pryor to really escape that unless he got good protection. But you never really saw them really have an opportunity to run the ball, which is unfortunate. But again, we touched upon it at the end of the game. Stopping Mitchell Pryor like that, that's how you're going to win. If you don't commit as many penalties on both sides of the ball, you're going to beat Darien. Look what happened. I know you talked about the couple penalties on the offensive line for New Canaan, but overall, I thought it was terrific. A much better showing.
They really limited it to just that one drive, and overshadowed in all of this was the Darien defense really played a very strong game. I thought Connor Fay in the middle linebacker spot did such a good job. It's tough to really knock the Blue Wave defense for their performance on Thanksgiving. We're going to tee up the highlights here, Kev. We'll have more. Let's see how it shook down Thanksgiving morning at Boyle Stadium. Alex Damel and Tyler Herget are the deep men to return this Grant Morse kick, who will also do the punting this morning for the Rams. He's set, and we are underway from Stanford as Damel lets this one bounce over his head into the end zone for a touchback. And now we get our first look at the sophomore, Peter Graham. Pryor, 1st and 10 from the 20, and they're going to let Grant throw as he flings one to the flats. It's intercepted. Ciancio jumped it, and he's in for a Rams touchdown. It may be a 24-yard attempt for Morse off the left hash. Carl Mazabris, the junior snapper, Will Rector in the junior holder. They've been good for the most part all year. Low snap collected. It is up and good from 24. And the lead now 10 with an 11-yard run on their first play from scrimmage. Since then, 4 penalties for a result of minus 22 yards. This time, though, they hit Arnone in stride, John, and he's got enough for the Rams' first down.
Great move by Arnone. I thought he was running the go all the way. And then Darien's got to find a way to stop this. New Canaan has to do just what they're doing right here.
As Shin's heading for the front pylon, reaches to the end zone, touchdown!
The timeout, you've only got 10 in on your field goal unit.
Morse, a 44-yard attempt. He hit this against Pascack Valley earlier in the year. This one on its way, and it is good off the crossbar.
They don't give style points. The crossbar with a little assist. But that's 3 more and a 20-point lead for Darien. The way this win streak is ended, the way this is happening. But yeah, it's something you have to deal with. It's reality.
3rd down and 10. 3 seconds to go and an empty set for Hancock. Dropping back as he looks to his left, flings it over the middle. The fans have no interest, John, in waiting for this one to end as New Canaan has taken down number 1, Darien. Kev, just wanted to mention that Grant Morse field goal, 44 yards, just 3 shy of the school record, which is 47. That kid, his development as a kicker is one of the just coolest stories for me. It's been a lot of fun to watch him. Just this, he was this little awkward linebacker kid who had a big foot, and they said, all right, yeah, you're going to learn to punt the football, and look at him now. He has surpassed Peter Swindell, Jack Holzer for all these great records, so great job by him. And he led that defense, Kevin. You just saw how dominant they were. Of course, the last touchdown, we didn't see on there the Zach Miller pick 6 return for a touchdown.
Yeah, the whole defense, again, they deserve to be talked about because they were just outstanding. Lights out defense. You talk about that defensive line led by Garrett Braden. They were massive as well. What a performance. But I think Grant Morris, not only was he great on the defensive side of the ball, but we just saw him, the kicking ability, but I thought he was good punting too. He really pinned Darien back into their own end, around their 10-yard line, even further back at times. I thought he was clutch too when they had to kick the ball. So all around, great performance by New Canaan. The special teams, I know, a little bit of a question mark throughout the first couple of weeks of the season. They really stepped it up, and I thought they really polished off, and they did a great job in the Turkey Bowl against Darien.
Well, with the Darien loss, the FCIAC championship was up for grabs. When we get back from the break, we'll dive into who took home the crown and who's heading to the playoffs. More FCIAC football wrap-up coming up next on Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network.
If you've ever thought about owning a motor coach or learning about what it's like to travel the open road in superior style and comfort, then contact Dave's RV Center in Danbury, Connecticut. Offering the best quality Class A motorhomes from Newmar, travel trailers and fifth wheel lines from Surveyor, and a toy hauler line from Work and Play. Choose from Newmar's Gas Line, Bay Star and Canyon Star, or from Newmar's Diesel Line, Ventana and Dutch Star. And with unparalleled service and maintenance, Dave's RV is committed to keeping you and your motor coach safely on the road and enjoying it to the fullest. Stop by their showroom, 2 Industrial Plaza Road, Danbury, Connecticut, or call 877-483-3866.
Whether you're looking for a great test prep program, tutoring to boost your grades, or a blast-off tour with the college of your dreams, C2 Education is here to help. There is nothing one-size-fits-all about our programs. We offer customized tutoring and test prep for each student. Call us today at 203-423-3328.
UK Gourmet is the largest specialty grocer in the area, featuring food from England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. Over 80 teas to choose from and a brilliant assortment of biscuits to go with them. Over 70 cheeses from grass-fed cows, which makes a smashing difference in taste. The creamiest chocolate you'll ever taste using no artificial colors or preservatives. So say hooray for UK Gourmet, 78 Stony Hill Road in Bethel, or visit ukgourmet.us.
At Rings End, we say it's time to re-love your home. Time to refresh and reinvigorate the way you live. And whether you're redoing something big or small, remember the letters RE stand for Rings End. We're the new model in home remodeling.
My advice to an 8th grader would be to really investigate all that prep has to offer for you.
Welcome to Prep! Fairfield Prep is announcing an additional exam date of Saturday, December 2nd. Register today at fairfieldprep.org.
Welcome back to Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network. The 34-game win streak in Darien is officially over. No longer the #1 team in the state per Game Time CT's poll, at least, and they are no longer the defending FCIAC champion. That title, Kevin, goes to the Greenwich Cardinals, who completed their regular season 10-0 with a victory over the rivals Staples Wreckers. And in just year 3 of the John Marinelli era, the Greenwich Cardinals back on top of the conference, ending their 10-year championship drought.
And well-deserved, too. You look at throughout this season for the Greenwich Cardinals, you got Gavin Muir, Tyson Comizio, JL Negron on the offense. These guys were just lights out. Gavin, you look back when we covering them during the Grip It and Rip It tournament in July, and I liked the way he was throwing the ball, the way the ball was coming out of his hands. I really liked the way he was playing in that Grip It and Rip It tournament, and just being able to talk to him and learn about his confidence, how excited he was to take over the keys this year and be that starting quarterback as a junior. He's lived up to it, man. He's been awesome. I thought he's did a great job working with that offensive line, getting a lot of guys involved, looking so composed in the pocket. One of the big reasons why Greenwich is where they are now, 10-0, #1 seed in the Class AA tournament.
He was such a strong player all year. 31-14, the final in this game. Never really felt that close, though. Greenwich in the driver's seat from the start. They're going to head to the state tournament now. We'll see them live on the HAN Network tomorrow night when they host #8 Fairfield Prep. But for Greenwich, Kev, you look at this program and the quick turnaround that they've been able to have. There are a lot of young players on this year's roster. This is a team that is set up to be successful for a long time. But before that, what are you expecting with the quick turnaround now against a difficult Fairfield Prep team who has been inconsistent this season, I would say, is the knock. But by no means are they not a talented, physical, or for that matter, good football team.
This is a very strong Fairfield Prep team, and we haven't really had a chance to see them this year, and I'm excited to watch them compete against the Cardinals tomorrow because I think this is going to be one of the toughest tests for the Cardinals this season. You look back at some of their contests this year throughout the season. Yes, New Canaan was an impressive win for Greenwich. This is going to be just maybe a little bit of a bigger matchup than New Canaan. I think Fairfield Prep has a lot of talent on this team, a lot of seniors, a lot of upperclassmen on this roster that are very talented. You look at a very strong defense as well. They have some good wideouts as well, some fast guys, some good athletic players on this team. I really do think Fairfield Prep is going to give Greenwich a little bit of a problem tomorrow. I think Greenwich is finally going to be able to say to themselves, okay, here we go. This is our first real big test of the year. I know they've had some close games, but I really do think Fairfield Prep is going to come into Cardinal Stadium and make some noise. I still think Greenwich is going to come away with the victory, but I really do think Fairfield Prep is going to give them a run for their money.
Well, the key word I thought you used in that whole sentence was big. And this is a big team. You're talking kids standing 6'2", 6'3", 300 pounds. This is a team right now averaging over 220 rushing yards per game. 4 players have rushed for more than 300 yards on the year. So they've come at you in a variety of ways, and it truly is. They're going to look to just pound it down your throat, use their physical presence, and instill their will. If anything, the quick turnaround here, I think, hurts Greenwich because they did not have that bye week late in the season. Remember, Kev, they played Xavier. So this is a lot of games in a row, and now just the 4-5-day rest. Fairfield Prep could be a very tough out here, not your traditional 8 seed that the Cardinals are going to face. On the other side of this rivalry, the Staples Wreckers, the second year in a row now, the Wreckers season ends with the loss. They finished 6-4, right in the middle of the conference. But this is a program, Kev, that needs to be better than 6-4. It needs to be better than the middle of the conference.
It needs to be better because you look at that Turkey Bowl game against Greenwich. That needs to be a closer game. And you look back at years past, this game is always down to the wire. Someone's coming away with that game-winning touchdown, game-winning field goal. It's always neck and neck throughout Greenwich and Staples. And you're right, Frank. Staples has to be better for the next couple of years. They have to figure a way to, develop their players. And, again, you look at some of this roster, some young players, maybe this is the year they develop into, some studs maybe for the next 2 years or a year. But yes, they have to be better. They have to be in contention with the Greenwiches, with the Darians, with the New Canaans, because this year, you look back at that game against Richfield, they should have won that game. They should have won that game, and they let Richfield drive all the way down the final 2 minutes to win that game. You remember that Luke Gatos touchdown, which was very impressive? They should have beat Richfield. Maybe that's a little bit of a different story now if you look back here, towards after Thanksgiving. Some tough losses for them, I thought. But again, you're right. They have to be better. Look back for the next years to come. When we look at this time, a little bit after Thanksgiving, we expect to see Staples, in the top 3, in the top 4, them in the state playoffs. We don't expect them to see their season be over on Thanksgiving Day. We expect them to win not only on Thanksgiving, but we expect them to win in the state tournament, make a run for it. This is a very talented team, a very storied program. We expect to see Staples try and pick things up the next couple of years.
You mentioned that loss to Ridgefield before. We talked a little bit about it Thanksgiving morning. Ridgefield, a 41-0 victory over their rival Danbury, finishing the year 7-3. Another good season for the Tigers. They're going to end up being just a game out of that playoff picture. That game against Greenwich this year, one they're going to look back on. They probably thought they had it. Most importantly, though, that game against St. Joe's.
I was just about to say that. That game against St. Joe's, it's funny. Just being able to see some of the coaching staffs throughout the last couple of weeks from the Richfield Tigers, they're still hanging their heads. They're still shaking their heads saying, we should have. That Cadets game we should have had. And that's a different story now. This is a Richfield team that's probably in instead of being the team on the outside looking in. So Richfield, after having a great run last year, I know they lost to Darien in the state final. What a great run they had throughout that state tournament. Remember, look back at that game against Shelton, which was exciting. The Cardiac Cats, they unfortunately won't be in the tournament, but this is another team. You look at Jackson Mitchell. Jackson Mitchell is going to be a leader next year.
There's definitely promise.
There's definitely promise. There's a lot of young players. Jackson Mitchell is definitely going to be that guy next year because what a junior year he had.
Not looking ahead to 2018 because they still have games remaining in 2017. The St. Joseph Cadets, and what a beatdown it was of their crosstown rivals. 65-6, Kevin. They defeated the Trumbull Eagles. I think it was 51-0. at halftime.
You think maybe this is a little retaliation after last year?
Listen, it's an impressive win by St. Joseph. Honestly, though, I think Trumbull's that bad. Trumbull 3-7 this year. 3-7 this year. Trumbull. That's it. That is a low record for a team like Trumbull.
Let's look back to week 1, week 2, maybe even before the season even started. What were we saying? We were saying that Trumbull was going to be one of those top teams who really thought they had talent to be at least 500, maybe a little better, but we did not. I was not expecting them to be where they are right now at 3-7. Definitely not.
3 games this year, they surrendered 60-plus points. 3 games, you surrendered 60-plus points. It's a difficult year for the Eagles, and they are as happy as anyone right now. 2017 has come to an end. Let's take a break, Kev. When we get back, we'll wrap up the rest of the Thanksgiving rivalry games and look ahead to tomorrow's state tournament action next. Nutmeg Sports on the HA Network.
Had a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Orthopedics Walk-In Urgent Care gives you direct access to orthopedic specialists fast without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Orthopedics Walk-In Urgent Care can help. Open 7 days a week now at 3 locations. The iPark Building at 761 Main Avenue, Norwalk, 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien, or in the Westport Medical Center at 323 Riverside Avenue, Westport. Go to coastalorthoct.com. Like them on Facebook.
At Pamby Motors, we're not worried about being the biggest dealership. We're focused on being the best. We're dedicated to giving you the best experience we can. The Pamby Motors team is here to help you choose the right Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram in a friendly, pressure-free environment. And now, during our Black Friday sales event, get 0% APR financing for up to 72 months, plus $1,000 retail bonus cash on select 2017 Ram 1500s. Visit Pamby Motors, Route 7 in Ridgefield, PambyZone.com.
The leaves are changing, water temps dropping, and the sun is setting a little earlier each day. But there's still a lot of great boating, fishing, and coast time left before we see the first snow. And above all, remember, it's always summer at the Dock Shop. With loads of new fishing tackle and accessories, clothing, jewelry, and home decor, the Dock Shop is just what you need when you start to feel that New England autumn chill. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
CT City Lacrosse is dedicated to helping youth and high school players reach their full potential. Director Mike Nazaro, head lacrosse coach at Stanford High School, is holding boys and girls indoor winter clinics for the 2017-2018 season at Bobby Valentine's Sports Academy in Stanford. Find out more and sign up at ctcitylax.com.
At Budget Blinds, we're in business to frame the light, the day, and the night. So we give you an exclusive combination of high style, expert service, our no surprises pricing, and our no questions asked warranty. We believe that everyone, at every budget, deserves style and service. Isn't that a beautiful place to be?
Back on Nutmeg Sports, Frank Granito and Kevin Coleman continuing our Thanksgiving wrap-up. Let's jump now to the city championship in Stanford on the line. West Hill looking to complete a 7-win season, but denied the opportunity. Kev, not a lot of us saw this one coming. Stanford, 26 to West Hill's 14. The Black Knights, despite a 4-6 record, city champions as they take down West Hill, who finishes the year 6-4. We talked about this on our pregame show last Wednesday. What kind of a season would this be if West Hill ended up coming up short against Stanford after having such a promising year, doing a lot of good with this class, now back down to 6-4, and it just it seems a little bleaker than we anticipated.
It's disappointing. I think they were hoping to bring back some sort of trophy. Definitely a city trophy is something that they were, something that was a goal of theirs this year. If you look back, something that they wanted to have against Stanford. To be 6-4, and you look at 6-4 and 7-3, Frank. 7-3, it looks like a better outlook of your season. Looks like you've had, I think the coaching staff, the entire team was hoping to have that 7-win season. That's disappointing now that you're only 6-4. And for Stanford, how about them? They deserve a lot of credit because coming into this game, I'm sure a lot of people weren't expecting the Black Knights to do what they did. Put up 26 points, only hold West Hill to 14. What a performance by Stanford. Now they get to bring home the city championship back to Stanford. So a great job by the Black Knights. It's disappointing for the Vikings because they're better than this. They're much better than their record shows.
It was the senior, Cameron Freckleton, who really went off, had a big game, scored twice in this one, once on offense, once on defense, leading the Black Knights. Wilton, a huge win over their rival Trinity Catholic, 42-0, 6-4 for the Warriors. Final game for guys like Jack Donato, Harvey Alexander. This is a strong Wilton senior class leaving now, and a good way for them to end their careers.
Yeah, end their careers on a positive note, especially a guy like Harvey Alexander. You look at that entire, the captains on this team this year, Jack Donato, Harvey Alexander, like you mentioned, Frank. You look throughout this roster, all the seniors that worked very hard. Bruce Cunningham has to feel proud. A little bit of disappointment, I know, 6-4. Obviously, you want to be better than that, but again, Wilton is going to be back. This is a team that has a lot of young guys, a lot of talent coming through their youth program too. So I know losing a guy like Harvey Alexander hurts. Believe me, he was a lot of fun to watch, and he's a guy that it's going to be hard to replace. But being 6-4, end the season 42-0, defense has got to feel good to end the year like that. What a good showing by the Warriors to end the year on a positive note.
Another senior who's going to be missed by his program, A.J. Hall, finishes his career with the Norwalk Bears along with his fellow senior classmates. The Bears, 6-4 record this year. 43-26, they defeat rival Brian McMahon. This game, Kev, I was thinking about it. Norwalk, not that far away from a 7-win season. Really, that game they played with West Hill earlier in the year, toss-up game there. If Kyle Gordon maybe turns it over 1 or 2 times less, Norwalk is a team we're talking about as possibly the most improved, one of the great stories here in 2017.
Yeah, for them too, to finish the year 6-4, another positive. Yes, that's another team that would love to have 7 wins. Look back at that West Hill game, disappointing. But for A.J. Hall to finish the year off with a nice win against McMahon like that, putting up 43 points, letting the offense go to work, have some fun on Turkey Day, it's a big win and a positive note here, positive step forward for this Norwalk football program.
Fairfield Ward, 55, Fairfield Ludlow, 22. So, Kevin, the Mustangs finished the year 5-5, Falcons 1-9. Really a quality season here for Fairfield Ward, 1 or 2 games again that they'll want back and probably could have been the difference. But again, 5-5 in this conference right now for Fairfield Ward. That's a good year. Joe Janaj had a big pick in that game as well. Another strong defensive effort from him and the Mustangs.
Yeah, this is a good year. I think, you look at 5-5 and maybe you think, maybe we could have done a little bit better. But really for the Mustangs, this is a positive. Finish the year off, obviously, a nice win on Thanksgiving Day against your rival in Ludlow, putting up 55. That's big for the offense, big for the defense as well. You got to feel good considering what happened during the offseason. They lose David Summers to St. Joe's. That's a big hit to this offense, to this football program. What do? They come back. They put up a good showing against a lot of the good teams. Remember, look at that Darien game. They forced Darien to turn the ball over 4 times. Not a lot of teams can say that here in the FCX. No. So you have to feel good if you're Ward. I really do hope that this is maybe a start for the Ward Mustangs to kind of move forward on a positive note here. Move into 2018, maybe get some better players next year. Some new players come in. Maybe finish the year with 6 wins, maybe 7 wins, maybe work to get 1 more win next year. And we'll see. I like the way that they finished off the year, though. It's a positive note for the Ward Mustangs.
And let's just quickly look ahead to tomorrow night's games. And I'm glad you mentioned David Summers. He's going to be my X factor in the first round out of all the FCX schools. I think Summers, leading that St. Joe's offense, he is just so smart with the football. 33 touchdowns this year, Kevin, only 3 interceptions. Has done such a great job. I think that they roll against O'Brien. Cadets are on to the semis easily. For St. Joe's, if they stay out of their own way, they're able to get to that championship game, hopefully against Ansonia. That would be a lot of fun to see. We'll talk more about Greenwich and Prep tomorrow, obviously in our pregame, but either Darien or New Canaan, which one of those games and who are you keeping an eye on in it?
You gotta keep the continue going here. It's gotta be New Canaan. You look at that game against Middletown. Can New Canaan continue this run maybe? Maybe that win on Thanksgiving morning against Darien kind of starts a little streak for this Rams team. Maybe they go into this tournament as the underdog and really get things going, start off, go on a hot streak and take it all. I would love to see New Canaan, rally off that win against Darien, maybe take home that state title. I think they have the talent to do it. Their defense certainly is capable of taking them there.
It'll definitely be a lot of fun. We'll get you caught up and ready to go for the state tournament tomorrow. Again, 6:30, we will have live coverage. Greenwich and Fairfield Prep here on the HAN Network. For Kevin Coleman, I'm Frank Granito. See you back here tomorrow at Night Sports.